goes back to our founding documents about free speech. And
Yes.
that's what canceling is an affront to. The fact that when people are canceled because they say they speak their mind and then they're canceled, that's so un-American. And I see how that can be a real fear for anyone. I mean, you're just showing up because you're a really awesome football player, and then you happen to say something that's on your mind, and then people want to shut you down. It just isn't America.
But I saw something on Instagram. But what does cancel mean, though? Who cancels you? What does that mean? What does it mean? The media, the social media? Who cares? I'm not trying to impress those people anyway. If you don't like me and don't want to listen to me or talk to me or follow me, I don't care. I don't think it's that big. I thought it was great. He goes, what does cancel mean? Are you going to disappear me? No. It's just you don't. A certain group of people doesn't like you. So what? That's just the way it is these days.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's actually sometimes we allowed ourselves to be subject
scared.
to it.
To be scared.
Yeah.
Americans are capable of achieving extraordinary things when they have the freedom and opportunity to do so. This is American Potential.
Welcome to the American Potential Podcast. I'm your host, David Fromm. We're down here in Springfield, Illinois, celebrating America's 250th birthday and Abraham Lincoln's birthday. So it's just a great time of celebration. We're having a great event with hundreds of folks to listen to some great speakers talk about defending our freedoms, the freedoms that were guaranteed by the Declaration. And when we're talking about defending our freedoms, we have a really special guest that I'm really excited to talk to. He played for 13 years with the Chicago Bears as a linebacker, was on the all-decade team for the 2000s, was the 2005 Defensive Player of the Year, and recently was elected to the Hall of Fame. You all know him. It's Brian Urlacher, one of the great Bears of all time, one of the great defenders. So who better to talk about defending our freedoms and defending the constitutionally guaranteed rights enshrined for our nation. So Brian, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good segue there. Thank you. Appreciate you having me on. That was pretty good.
I'm going to say defending a lot, I think.
Yeah, I like that. Yes.
Well, unfortunately, in our society, a lot of stuff needs defending. I mean, there's the direction that some of the society has been going, and what parts of our society are doing is of concern. And
there's a lot of things of concern right now.
I mean, when we read our founding documents and what our founders talked about, it's pretty. There's wonderful things in there, and I think they've been eroded, unfortunately. So we've launched this campaign called the One Small Step campaign, asking people to step up and stand up for our rights, to get involved, because when we all get involved and get off the couch, it makes a difference.
Yep, it does. The problem is now everyone wants to cancel you. If you do speak up from one side or what I assume to be the right side, then people call you out. They want to drag you down. But if you speak the other way, there's no consequences.
Yeah.
It's very one-sided with media, stuff like that. I really don't care what people think when I say what I think. It's not an issue to me, but a lot of people are scared to say what they think or defend what they think is right.
So you grew up in New Mexico, right?
I did grow up in New Mexico, yes.
I go to New Mexico a lot, and it's a beautiful state.
You're right. It is in parts. Where I grew up is not beautiful.
Oh, what part was it?
Well, if you like dirt, tumbleweeds, wind, and oil rigs, you're going to love where I grew up.
What part was it? The southeast?
Southeast, yeah, right by Texas down there. It's not very beautiful down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, it is true. I know. You don't hurt my feelings. Yeah. If you get to Albuquerque and above, amazing state. Beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's where most of the population comes from in our state. Where I live is very, very conservative where I grew up, but not a lot of population.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so how did obviously football was a huge part of your life, but how did you, growing up, when did you start to kind of think hey, I want to make my voice heard, I want to get involved a little bit more?
Honestly, when I played, none of the stuff that is being talked about right now really mattered. The things that have become so to the forefront the last 8 years maybe for some reason. 2016 after somebody was elected, things got really a lot more stressful. So maybe 2019, 2020 is when I really thought that, hey, maybe you should start saying something or voicing your opinion, because everyone else seems to have an opinion, so why not voice yours? It was opposite of most of people's opinion, but I wasn't too worried about that.
So on an NFL team, you're in a locker room. I mean, I always kind of envy what's talked about as a brotherhood, kind of a family atmosphere, a bunch of brothers together. But I mean, there's got to be a lot of personal conversation, and you get to know each other's friends. But obviously politics, we all know if you go to like, Thanksgiving dinner and you're talking about
Yes,
politics
for
and
sure.
religion, nobody wants to hear it.
These days, yeah.
So I imagine a locker room, is it kind of a similar dynamic? Like, how did that play out for you?
So I would assume it is now, but when I played, none of that mattered. I didn't, like, my wife and I never talked about politics before we got married. I didn't know what she was when we got married. I didn't care.
Really?
And then back in, when I played, it was never an issue. No one cared. And then it wasn't an issue until, like I said, 2016. And then, a lot of things started taking place. People were doing things on the field before the game, kneeling or whatever for the anthem. I would have a hard time dealing with that if people didn't stand for the anthem. So I've definitely played at the right time because I would have a really hard time probably putting up with some of the things that are accepted today. But luckily I played in a time where it wasn't the forefront like it is now.
Do you ever hear from folks who are like-minded, who might have a little more conservative worldview, who are currently in the league or just were recently? And like, are there pressures?
Well, I think the pressure is to be quiet. I think if you're on one side, it's okay because you see the NFL pushing certain things, you see the media pushing certain things, and then if you're against those things, you're maybe not as popular as they want you. I mean, they're not going to cover you as much. I know some guys that are conservative that just be quiet. They're quiet about it. I think there's more. It's like the silent majority. We always talk about the silent majority, or not we, but I hear that a lot, and I think that's a lot more at the forefront in the NFL. More silence than anything else.
So I find it interesting. I know your brother Casey was a mayor here in
He is
Illinois.
the mayor. He's the mayor of Matawa still. I want to say like 14 years now. Yes,
I know he's still mayor. Because I remember running for the state legislature also.
Yes.
And so he's obviously active in politics, still doing it. And then now you've kind of been started to speak out a little bit. And how was there something in your family that made you guys kind of pushed you in that direction, or did he just get a bug? Or
no, I think what happened with him, one of the residents, there's 550 people who live in Matawa. By the way.
It's a beautiful
it's not huge.
community.
It's where I used to live when I lived here. It's a great place to live, but one of the residents was kind of asking him what he thought about maybe jumping in the race. He was like, I'll try it. Ended up winning. The residents love him, and he just kept, every year he wins, or every 2 years I think they run for it. I don't know what pushed him to do it. I think he's a people person. He's very interactive with the residents, which is good. He and I are opposite in that aspect. He likes to hang out and do things with people who doesn't know, I guess. I'm the opposite. But he enjoys it. He does a good job. They've done a lot of good things since he's been the mayor.
So as you look at the country right now, we talked about like the freedoms that we've enjoyed that made America the greatest nation in the world, really in history. Are there things that you're excited about? And are there also things that concerns you? Because I think that's one of the reasons certainly got involved.
There's a lot of things that concern me, but there's more things that excite me.
Yeah.
There's the way that things are going right now. I think the immigration, number one, the borders being secure, that was a big deal. We were getting overran. For 4 years there, our borders just got overran. So to see some security with the negative deportation now, we have more people going out than coming in now, which I think is a great thing for. It's going to have to be that way, or we won't get back to where we were before.
Now, am I correct that you've been to the border a number of times?
I have been to the border twice. I live in Arizona. The border's 3 hours from my house, so I went down there a couple times. This is when the overflow was happening. So I haven't been back since it's been secure. I would love to go back now and talk to some of those same guys.
Did you go to Yuma?
Went to Yuma. Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So we did a show with Chief Clem.
Chief Clem's my guy. Yeah.
I know.
Yep.
We did it a few months ago in Yuma. And
it had to be so different.
And so we talked to the mayor. We talked to a county official. We talked to a farmer, big farmer who has some fields go right up against it.
Agriculture was really affected by the
big time,
yep.
Big time. And it was shocking to me, and you'll know this, how the ripple effect of that impact. It was terrible.
It was bad.
It's a very welcoming community. They're dependent upon legal immigration for their business.
Yes,
but they so it's night and day. They are like, the fact that President Trump just stood up and said, hey, we're going to enforce our laws and have practically done it has made an enormous difference.
Well, the other guy said you couldn't do it by just him. He couldn't do it by himself. Remember?
Right.
He said we have to have it has to go through the Senate. That was wrong, obviously, because President Trump did it one day. His first day in office, he signed an executive order to close it or do whatever he did to shut it down. And we've been negative ever since. So that's exciting for me. A lot of things he's done excite me. There's a lot of things that still concern me with the way, some of the cities are ran with just, my kids are older now, thank goodness.
Yeah.
So they understand, my youngest is 20, so they're older. They got through college without being too brainwashed, which is a good thing.
Same here. It is an accomplishment.
It really
nowadays,
is.
Isn't it?
I got my youngest son still in college, but I feel like he's made it through the hard years where they're trying to brainwash him a little bit. But I've managed to get 3 of them through without getting too brainwashed. But there are some things that concern me. I just don't understand how you can want how you think it's fair for a male to play against women in women's sports, and they're still pushing that really hard. That it's okay. I'm sure I'm gonna have grandkids one day. I don't want that to be an issue when I'm watching my grandkids play against guys that shouldn't be allowed. And there's other things they're doing that still bother me, but we're getting in the right direction right now. That we're finally getting it fixed a little bit. It's gonna take time.
Well, I think one of the things that I heard you say a little earlier, really goes back to our founding documents about free speech. And that's what canceling is an affront to. The fact that when people are canceled because they say they speak their mind and then they're canceled, that's so un-American. And I see how that can be a real fear for anyone. I mean, you're just showing up because you're a really awesome football player, and then you happen to say something that's on your mind, and then people want to shut you down. It just isn't America.
But I saw something on Instagram. But what does cancel mean, though? Who cancels you? What does that mean? What does it mean? The media, the social media? Who cares? I'm not trying to impress those people anyway. If you don't like me and don't want to listen to me or talk to me or follow me, I don't care. I don't think it's that big. I thought it was great. He goes, what does cancel mean? Are you going to disappear me? No. It's just a certain group of people doesn't like you. So what? That's just the way it is these days.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's actually sometimes we allowed ourselves to be subject
scared,
to it.
To be scared.
Yep.
There's no reason to be scared. I think, like I said earlier, it's okay to feel one way and express it publicly. But if you feel another way, it's not okay. It's not as popular to express. It's getting easier to express it now. More people are doing it, but are they being, less scared to be public about it?
Well, I think that President Trump's election again was a real blow to that movement of canceling folks and all. And then, Elon Musk buying X is a huge development. That there's a truly free avenue
platform
for people to, that isn't going to cancel people.
Well, everyone wants free speech until they say something that's going to get them in trouble, or they're going to, that it's just. But what is free speech anymore? There's so many ways that they dumb it down. They like the Don Lemon thing.
Yeah,
that's not free speech. You're interrupting a church service. That's illegal. You can't do that. There's just so many things that, I'm protected by the First Amendment. You are to some point, but you can't go in there and interrupt a church gathering.
Right. Yeah, I think one of the things that we always talk about with freedom of speech is it's not freedom to hear the speech that you like.
Yes.
It's for people to say what they want.
Yes.
And, free speech is about, having to listen to things you don't like to hear.
Yeah.
And that's true for conservatives. Like I get very conserved. Very true.
That's what I do.
I get very concerned when even conservatives are like, well, we need to stop that speech. It's like, no, we need more speech. And, let's win the arguments because we make better arguments.
There you go. Charlie Kirk's view, right? Let them talk. Let them basically prove themselves wrong. Because if they keep talking, their arguments are just, they fall on no one's ear. They're deaf arguments because they don't make any sense. Most arguments that the left side is trying to make do not make any sense because they have no ground to stand on. The boys versus women is never a good argument. The transgender stuff, it's just, they have no arguments.
Right.
In my opinion. But I can say that because it's free speech. I can say what I want to. You may not agree with it, but I can say it.
So we're celebrating America's 250th birthday today.
Yes.
Happens to be Abraham Lincoln's 217th birthday today.
He's old.
Pretty old. Yeah, he's actually back here. He's going to be on the show soon.
You look great.
We're going to interview him.
217, my man looks good.
You thought you were in shape, man.
I thought he was taller, though. Yeah, I'm a little disappointed about that.
It was all relative.
You do shrink when you get older, I guess, right? Yeah.
So we're going to talk about, you're one of our featured speakers. I can tell you people are super excited for you to come and talk to them. So give us a little taste of what do you want to talk to folks about?
Well, I'm just going to give them my story. Like I said, I grew up in New Mexico. There's a lot of things. If you watch my Hall of Fame speech, you probably know all about this stuff, but I'm going to give a little tidbit of that. Growing up where I grew up and just, a little bit about my process in the NFL, going through college, talk about my kids and just boring stuff. Boring to me, but hopefully it's interesting to somebody else.
I always found, so I have a lot of kids. I have a bunch of kids, and some are in college and then younger. But I always think, we talk about the American dream.
Yes.
And my view of the American dream has evolved because it's become like wanting my kids to achieve their dreams in the American dream. And
100%.
that before wasn't a thing. It was me. And so it's really evolved and stuff.
I think the older you get, your dreams do change for you because you've accomplished some things, you've been successful in your life, and then you're to a point where okay, now I want to see my kids do well, and my grandkids. If I have grandkids, I want to see them do well. So I guess it kind of changes over the course of your life.
Yeah. It's it adds a richness, and then the responsibility is hard. But then you're actually really more worried, I think, because you're like, hey, I see this going in this direction, and this is really consequential.
It really is. The worry factor is high right now. It's gone down a little bit. My oldest will be graduating law school in May, so she'll be out in the world.
Congratulations.
Yeah, she'll be out in the world lawyering in a year or so. So it's stressful, but I think, like I said, we're going in the right direction. It's a little bit more easing now because that we're taking a turn for the better finally.
That's good.
Yes.
So all right, I want to turn because I love football, and
Me
I want to
too.
turn a little bit to football.
Too. Yes.
And I am interested. Well, all right. First, let's just talk some Bears football.
Yes.
Because what a turnaround for the Bears this year.
Unreal.
I mean, do you still talk to people in the organization?
I do. There's a couple people that are still there from when I played, but
yeah.
Well, as a fan, I'm just a fan now. Unbelievable. Ben Johnson did the 180 they did, and Caleb. I thought Caleb was good last year, honestly. For a rookie to have as few as picks as he had, they didn't protect him very well. Last year he got hit a lot of sacks, but he didn't turn the ball over, so that was something to build on for this year. Then Ben came in, and Dennis Allen did a good job. They got takeaways on defense, and they were the game. You never felt like they were going to lose a game. I didn't.
Well,
they came back every time.
It was amazing. Even the playoffs.
The playoff game, I left. I was sitting in Kevin Warren's box for the Green Bay game, and they were down 21-3 when I left. I said, Kevin, don't worry, they're going to win. As I walked out of his box, and they go down 21, and they end up winning the game. On that overtime throw from Caleb to DJ, it was unreal.
So you predicted it to Kevin Warren?
No, I didn't know that was going to happen in that fashion. But I never believed they were going to lose. Every game, they always found a way to stay in it or come back and make a play to win the game.
It was totally uncanny. It really was.
You can't rely on that long term, I don't think. But it worked a lot this year. They're just going to get better and better. Learning to how to win and what not to do, I think, is a big key to winning as well.
So are you predicting them to win the Super Bowl next year? I'm
not making that prediction, but I think they're going to be a front runner. I think you look at maybe one of the top 10 teams to possibly get up there because they're going to get better. They're going to make some key. The good thing for the Bears right now is they have a quarterback on a rookie contract, so they can pay some other player. They're not going $65 million a year to their quarterback, so they can pay some other positions.
I saw a power ranking yesterday that had them 4.
Oh, I don't disagree with it. You look at, they beat Green Bay twice. Green Bay's been the powerhouse in that division for a long time.
Did you feel like that was extra special?
I was so happy. I just get tired of their fans.
And do you want to just talk about how much you hate Green Bay right now?
Yeah, I don't hate them. I just towards the end of my career, their fans were just, not their fans, I'm sorry. It was so one-sided.
Yeah.
Aaron was unbelievable, and in the last couple of years, it's been very one-sided as well. And then Ben comes in, wins 2 out of 3. I love the handshake that he gave to LaFleur after they beat him the first time or second time. And their fans got so mad. That's what made me happy, is how mad. Their fans are so spoiled because they've been beating us for 10 years. So when we beat them, they don't like it. And they get mad, and they start talking crap in the media. I thought it was great. Ended their season.
I did too.
Yep.
So take me back. So when you were playing, and I appreciate the opportunity to ask you about like what the locker room, what the experience is with like your teammates. Yeah. Are there any, like, who were your teammates that like you were closest to?
Man, we had a great locker room. I'll say this: the 13 years I was there, we had Coach Jerome my first 4 years, who was a great head coach, and then we had Lovey my last 9. They didn't draft bad guys, and they didn't sign bad free agents. That makes sense. Everyone who was in our locker room fit, and if you didn't, they didn't. Culture was a big deal, and that started with our Olin Cruz, probably one of my favorite teammates ever. Olin set the standard in our locker room, like the way we behaved, the way we talked to people, the way we did things, and then we just all got along. We had fun. It was like picture 60 grown men going to basically screw around all day. We playing baseball in the locker room, we're playing dodgeball, we're playing kickball. And then the Bears built a little game room for us. There's ping pong. Between meetings, we had a good time. It was good camaraderie. Just a fun group of guys, man. Lance was a great teammate. Charles, Julius Peppers, Hunter Hillemeyer, Greg Olson, Dusty Dvorak. There's 100 guys I can name.
A lot of great players you just named.
Some great players. Yeah, we had some great players on our team and some good guys.
That's awesome. So if Congress, this is kind of out of their question. If Congress were to be able to observe that locker room, what might they learn and how might they act differently?
Congress? Well, we were trying to accomplish one goal as a team. So we got along. We didn't have issues. Of course, we had our fights in practice, blah, blah, blah. But like personally, we did things together off the field, but we're in there to accomplish one goal. We want to win football games. I'm not sure what Congress's goal is or what they're trying to do, but maybe they should
help America win.
Help America, make America better, right?
Yeah.
I don't feel like that's at the top of their mind sometimes, or what they're trying to get accomplished. It's so personal and divided in there. they're going to vote on the party lines no matter what, if it's good for America or not.
So we often talk about people sitting on the sidelines, watching TV, telling their spouse about what they're seeing, complaining to television and stuff. But what we're talking about here a little bit, and what you're talking about, is like people getting involved, taking that one small step.
Yes.
How, if you're going to tell somebody, how to get off the sideline and onto the field and playing, any advice you give them?
I mean, whatever side you're on, I think I would do some research to what you're going to stand up for. Do some research to know exactly what you're talking about or what you want to get on board with, to know that what you're actually getting on board with is what you're getting on board with. Because sometimes you support these things that they're not really what you're supporting. There's hidden things behind these agendas that you may not know about. So be, educated on what you want to support and know some history about it, and or be educated, I guess, and be vocal. I think that's the number one thing. Use our voice, use our First Amendment right to say what we believe or what we think to be right, and just get out there and support it.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Brian, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Appreciate you
Super
having
excited
me.
for this event. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks. Hey, folks, if you like this episode, please subscribe and like to our channels, or follow us on social media on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Always remember, freedom and liberty are easily taken for granted. Don't take them for granted. Go out there and defend liberty and freedom. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Thank you for listening to American Potential. You may listen to more stories from Americans working every day to expand freedom and opportunity in their communities by visiting AmericanPotential.com.